The Carpenter brothers have been farming together on Hazel Branch Farm in Earlville, Maryland since 1965. However, their farming began long before then. Their father was a sharecrop farmer on Pond Neck Road in Earlville, Maryland. In 1938, Roy Sr. and Grace Carpenter moved to Hazel Branch Farm, where they farmed the land and raised their two sons, Roy Jr. and Curtis. The family belonged to St. Paul's Methodist Church in Earlville. Roy Sr. began farming the old-fashioned way, by hand. He would later buy 6 horses to till his farm. It wasn't until 1946 that he bought his first tractor, a 1946 International. Roy Sr. and Grace Carpenter bought Hazel Branch Farm on February the 14th, 1950. Roy Ambrose Carpenter was born on December 9, 1933. He was soon given the nickname Sonny. In 1939, Sonny entered the first grade, and then the class moved to the Cecilton School. In the 1950s, Sonny went to work full-time for his father on Hazel Branch Farm. In 1962, Sonny went to work for Mr. McQueen on Blythewood Farm, where he trained standard-bred horses. Sonny spent many years raising and racing standard-bred horses. He would prove to be a winner many times with Fella's Gem and Camden Patton, 2 of Sonny's top horses. Sonny married Catherine on June 22, 1957, in the Cecilton Methodist Church. From 1963 to 1968, they lived on Rich Neck Farm in Earlville, Maryland. And then in 1968, they moved to Blythewood Farm, also located in Earlville, Maryland. Together, they had 4 children, Charles, Connie, Roy, and Catherine. Their oldest son, Chucky, passed away on October 26, 1970, at the age of 9. They have 3 grandchildren and 1 great-granddaughter. On March 15, 1996, Sonny and Curtis bought Blythewood Farm, the farm that Sonny and Catherine call home. Norman Curtis Carpenter was born on October 7, 1937. Curtis attended Cecilton School and walked a half-mile alongside his brother to the bus stop. He graduated from Cecilton School in 1955. Curtis continued to farm on Hazel Branch after graduation, but in the winter of 1955, he took on a job delivering oil for Kent Oil Company in Galena, Maryland. And from 1956 to 1965, Curtis worked as a clerk for Robert L. Moore at the Cecilton Farm and Home Supply Store, which was located in the old George Biddle School in Cecilton, Maryland. Then, in 1965, and for the next 30 years, Curtis worked second shift at Chrysler Motor Company in Newark, Delaware. He worked the assembly line for 24 years, and for his last 6 years at Chrysler, he worked as a material handler. Curtis was married in 1959 in Cecilton Methodist Church. He has 4 children, Deborah, Curtis, Dudley, and Daniel. He has 9 grandchildren and is expecting a great-grandson in June. Curtis has always been there for his children and grandchildren. One family tradition Curtis has always provided is hosting Thanksgiving dinner at his home on Stemmers Run Road, located right on the edge of Hazel Branch Farm. Curtis worked long and hard to provide for his family, working 2 full-time jobs for over 40 years. And for fun, he took his family for summer vacations to Ocean City, Maryland, and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where they enjoyed the water and the sand. Curtis also enjoyed several birthday fishing trips with his sons, grandsons, brother, and nephew. His sons would take him rock fishing to Tillman's Island, located on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay, where they would celebrate his birthday with food, fish, and fun. The brothers went to school together. The brothers also worked on the farm together. They did chores together starting at the age of 6. They raised calves, colts, chickens, and hogs. Most of the livestock was used to feed the family. They had around 30 milking cows. Their father taught them the meaning of and value of hard work. Roy Sr. farmed Hazel Branch until his death in 1964, and with the same work ethic and determination of their father, Sonny and Curtis began their partnership. And so, in 1965, Carpenter Brothers was established. They would pick up right where their father left off. They would farm Hazel Branch. They would continue to work side by side. During the 1960s and early 1970s, they hauled livestock for local farmers. They bought their first tractor in 1970, a John Deere 2010. Then, in the 1980s, Carpenter Brothers started to produce more and more hay and straw. What began in the 1980s is still going strong today as Sonny and Curtis continue to make deliveries of hay and straw to Pennsylvania and Fair Hill, Maryland, including weekend deliveries. Sonny and Curtis also owned and trained standard bred racehorses. One of their top horses was named Grace L, after their mother. Another favorite was Blythe Babe. And so, for the past 50 years, their business grew. Sonny and Curtis went from tilling the family farm to tilling over 600 acres of corn, wheat, soybeans, hay, and straw. Today, at the age of 81 and 77, they continue to do as they did at the age of 6, working side by side. They are still farming Hazel Branch. They are still raising livestock. They are still planting and harvesting their fields. They are still delivering their hay and straw. They are still running their business as they've done for 50 years. They are carrying on the legacy of their father. They are hardworking, trustworthy, and honest. They are the Carpenter Brothers, and they are the 2014 Cecil County Farm Family of the Year.